Folks, today on the Stony Ridge Farm Channel, we got new peepers coming into the farm. Today we have brand new chickens coming into the farm. These are baby chicks from Murray McMurray Hatchery. We're going to tell you everything you need to know. These are white leghorn laying hens, and we also have Cornish cross meat birds. 134 chicks today. Let's get busy. Look how cute. Stony Ridge Farm. Welcome back to the Stony Ridge Farm Channel. If this is your first time here or your 50 millionth time here, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Love to have you back. It's not so bright in here. I guess I can take my shades off. It is a warm spring day here on the Stony Ridge Farm, and this is our brooder setup. So our brooder setup right here is a 400-gallon Rubbermaid stock tank. Now you can use a steel stock tank, a Tartar Farm and Ranch steel stock tank, but for this amount of birds, we want to have plenty of space. So the steel 100-gallon stock tank will house about 50 birds comfortably. This will house about 100 to 150 birds very comfortably. We've got sawdust down in here, and we have a few little tricks that we're going to show you to help you out with your birds. Now, what you really need to be thinking about is cleanliness and warmness. So you need to have a good, warm and clean environment for your baby chicks. You don't need all these hippie recipes of apple cider vinegar and all this. And if you guys use that stuff, let me know. Let me know what you do. We don't use that. We just use good, clean, fresh water and good, clean, fresh food. We use chick starter, and we're just using regular old chick starter that you can pick up at your local farm store, or you can go to an organic feed store and buy your chick starter. We use little crumbles, and we use 20% chick starter for these birds. So zip ties are your friend here, guys. If you don't know what a zip tie is and you're new to everything related to farming and handyman type stuff, this is a zip tie. I'll post links to all this stuff down in the video description in case you guys are wondering. This is a standard fluorescent light bulb. It's so warm out right now that the garage is somewhere around 95 degrees, and that's the temperature you want your birds for the first couple days. So anywhere from 95 to 98 degrees, even down to 85 would be okay. Now, as you see, zip ties are your friend, and I'll show you why they're your friend here in just a second. We have a thing called an Irwin Quick Grip, and I'll show you that. I think I have it right here. This is a quick gripper that we use on the side of our stock tank to hang things from. So we'll hang our light from here, and we can adjust the height of the light to the warmth of the birds. In other words, if the light is shining down and all the birds are bunched up around the light, it means they're too cold. So we need to bring the light down a little closer to them, and it's normal for the first probably 2 or 3 hours for them to all huddle under the light, and then they'll start exploring and warming up a little bit. Now, we have a fluorescent bulb in this, again, because it's so warm in here, but you can get a standard heat lamp, a red heat lamp, or a white heat lamp will do just fine. It's a 250 watt heat lamp bulb. Understand that you have chicks, dust and dry sawdust, and a heat source. What does that equal? That equals a fire hazard. So understand this is a major fire hazard, and you really have to pay attention to what you're doing so you don't accidentally burn your barn down or burn your house down. So pay attention to what you're doing and put that guard that's supposed to be in place on your lamp in there. You can pick this up at your local farm store, Tractor Supply, wherever you like. So this is a quick grip, and this is how it goes on. We go right on the side of our brooder. We squeeze this handle until it latches into place, just like so. Now you can see our heat lamp is down here inside of our brooder. We can adjust, again, the height of the heat lamp by tightening up our zip ties. This is sturdy enough to support it, and as the chickens get older, they will get taller, and thus they'll need less heat down low, and we can slowly squeeze these down and raise them up. We also do this with our feeders and our waterers later on. It's not that complicated to have baby chicks. And you think about it, if they had a mother hen, they'd be out there scratching through and eating dirt, but we need to be sure our waterer is clean. There will be a slimy residue that builds up inside the waterer and inside the dish that will make the chickens sick. So this is the dish. Flip it over here. We don't need any magical hippie concoctions, guys. We don't need apple cider vinegar and all these vitamin packs or anything. We just need good, fresh, clean water and good, fresh, clean food. So we'll set this over in there after we put some rock in it. Let me show you this real quick. So just down here in the gravel driveway, I just place a few stones inside here. Many a chick has lost its life to drowning in water. So we need to think about that and just put stones. These are just clean stones. clean by nature that will be inside the water. Baby chicks just came out of a nice warm wet egg. They want to go back to a nice warm wet spot and they can drown. So don't put like a dog dish in, get a chicken waterer. This chicken waterer doesn't have anything for us to hang it up by, but we will use a hanging chicken waterer once the chicks get a little bit bigger so that they don't mess up the water. And we'll show you there's a little trick with a piece of cardboard that we put under here so they don't kick shavings all up into their waterer. This is the feeder that we use right here to get them started, okay? This is not what we use 3, 4, 5 weeks down the road. What we use 3 or 4 or 5 weeks down the road will be hanging because these chicks naturally, instinctively dig, okay? So they'll be in here digging and kicking around shavings. We put the waterer on top of cardboard and we replace that cardboard as needed. And as this gets dirty, we simply add more litter. Now the litter that you see is sawdust, and you can use sawdust, shavings, anything, but don't use cedar shavings. Just use pine shavings and use the coarse grit shavings if you can find them. That will put less dust in your garage, barn, or house. We'll set this guy in here and these birds will be eaten in just a second. So these are our feeders and our waterers, again on zip ties so that we can tighten them up. We'll put them on the Irwin Quick Grips and show you exactly how this works. This is the most simple way I've ever found to do this, guys. And I've been raising chicks since I was 12 years old. Simply go right over top of your Quick Grip and your waterer will hang, just like so. It will hang and it will self-level, okay? Same thing with our feeder. We're gonna do the exact same thing. Our feeder will self-level and it'll be down here where the chicks can get their feed. You don't want them right side by side, and you want to be careful, guys, to not spill a bunch of water in your brooder because that'll make it get foul, stinky, and nasty. So we're ready to put our chicks in our brooder. This is so simple. Don't overcomplicate it in your head, and if you have questions, post them down there. And if you guys see questions you can answer them down there. Here's our chick box. It has holes in it. Guys, these chicks come from the hatchery. They ship. It usually takes about 72 hours for them to ship to you. Typically, you will have some birds that may not survive. Now, this looks like we have no losses, which is super cool. Guys, don't be very hard on yourselves. If you lose a baby chick, sometimes baby chicks die. They're very, very fragile creatures, so you need to understand that. They're not toys. Don't let your kids drool all over them or handle them, and wash your hands when you get done because there's a salmonella risk in here because salmonella naturally occurs in the chicken's gut. Okay, here we go. Just gently lower them right in. There you go. Baby chicks, peepers everywhere. Now, let's look down inside this box. This is the first poop, okay? It's called meconium. It's gonna be blue or green or black. It's kind of gross looking, right? Save this stuff, okay? So this is a synthetic straw that can be used for bedding for your chicks. So hang on to it. Hang on to your chick boxes, okay? We're gonna go ahead and put in another box. These guys are really active already. Next box here, and this is the reality I haven't seen in these boxes. If we have any losses, they will be in here. Looks like we didn't lose any chicks here. Guys, birds of a feather. Birds of a feather flock together. They like to be close. They like to huddle up together. Birds of a feather like to flock together. So when you think they're overcrowded, they're not, guys. They enjoy being in a flock. This is a flock animal. Now you guys will notice these chicks are very, very curious little critters. They're already pecking and digging and drinking water. So you really don't have to do too much. One chick is curious, and where one chick pecks, the other chicks go to. So you see they're already drinking water. Now what you also need to know is that Mother Nature takes care of baby chicks. After 2 or 3 days, they do need feed. But you think about a mother hen hatches her chicks out, and there could be 10 eggs or 15 eggs under a mother hen, and they're not all gonna hatch on the same day. So a baby chick can survive comfortably for 3 to 4 days without food or water. The final contestants are here. I do believe, yep, these are the Cornish cross meat birds. They're a little bit bigger. Now, there are fewer of these birds. There's about 35 of them. And you see how the hatchery put this block in here so that they'd stay warm, so that they could huddle together. And that's how they stay warm in shipment. These came from Iowa, and we're in North Carolina. They were here in less than 72 hours. There we go. 100% survival rate on these chicks. That is super awesome, man. Kudos to Murray McMurray Hatchery and the U.S. Postal Service. So guys, If you need to know anything else, there's a link to a playlist for everything chickens. We take our meat birds, we put them on pasture. Our laying hens are gonna go in behind our cows. It's pasture sanitation. You'll see the whole chicken coop build. You'll see tons more chicken content, so hit that like button. Come on back and see me here on the Stony Ridge Farm Channel. And if you have any questions, post them down there. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next time on the Stony Ridge Farm. Here's the babies. Come on down to the Stony